time talking about how to prepare for the career fair. Now we're going to talk about professional dress, career fair etiquette, and nonverbal communication, as well as what you should say to employers and what not to say. So you want to make sure that you're dressed professionally. What does that mean? Well, for both men and women, business suits are always acceptable, but you want to make sure that you have it tailored, make sure that it fits you properly. If it's too long in the sleeve or in the hem in the pants, make sure you have it tailored well ahead of time. If you choose not to wear a suit, a business suit, that would be a full-on blazer with a skirt or blazer with a pair of pants and a blouse, you could just wear, for women, a professional dress with a blazer or with a professional looking cardigan, or a professional blouse and skirt with professional slacks. So you could wear the blouse with the skirt or professional slacks. You don't necessarily have to wear a jacket. It's your personal preference. You might want to get some opinions too from peers or relatives to see, what looks most professional. For men, a professional shirt and tie and slacks with professional shoes. So you don't necessarily have to wear a jacket with it or wear a full-on business suit. For women, you want to make sure your skirts or dresses are at or below the knee. And for both men and women, make sure you're wearing professional shoes. So for women, make sure they're not open toe. For men, anything professional that's not tennis shoes or sandals. Making sure that they're polished. If you have a lot of scratches or scuffs on your shoes. Professional dress don'ts. Well, again, you don't want to wear open-toe shoes in any form, such as sandals or flip-flops. Avoid wearing sneakers or tennis shoes. No bright colors or overly intricate patterns. Colors that are neutral, like grays and blues, navy blue, black, beige is usually okay, a white blouse. You don't want to have overly intricate patterned blouses or jackets that could distract the employer. So keep it simple. No heavy makeup, perfume, or cologne. Again, those are other distractors. And even if an employer doesn't have an allergy to a scent, they may be put off by a particular perfume or cologne that you used. And that can distract them right there on the spot, such that they may not take in everything you're saying. So you want to keep it simple in that area too. Make sure you're wearing fabrics that you're comfortable in. So if you know of fabrics that are itchy or uncomfortable to wear, such as wool, for example, or certain synthetic fabrics like acrylic, make sure that you're aware of that, because you are going to be wearing this outfit for a couple of hours and you want to make sure you feel confident and comfortable. Make sure your clothing is tailored, again, well before the event. So if you know your tailor can turn things back to you within a week, you want to make sure that you go in at least a week before the event. I would say even earlier. And again, make sure it's tailored to fit you the way that you're most comfortable. When a suit or a professional outfit fits you in a particular way, it's going to help to enhance your confidence. Keep your hair out of your face. That's another good rule of thumb. Again, you want the employer to see you. You don't want there to be any distractors. So in this slide, you can see some examples of acceptable dress on your left versus unacceptable dress to your right. And so on the left, the lady in the black floral dress, you can tell, although it's a little bit above the knee, I would say maybe if it was an inch longer, that would be better. Although she is wearing an open-toe shoe. So, overall, it may be professional for a day at the office, but you wouldn't want to wear that to a job fair. I think just to be on the safe side at an event like this, don't wear open toes. You can see that the other girl in the purple sweater, she's wearing professional slacks, closed-toed shoes. She still looks professional enough, even though she's not wearing a suit. The two gentlemen are wearing business suits, and you can see the lady to the right, she's wearing a dress with a scarf, and they're all wearing neutral colors. To the right, obviously, the lady with the jeans bearing her midriff, you wouldn't want to wear something like that. Men, you want to avoid wearing polo shirts. That's a little too casual. You don't want to wear a blouse over leggings. That's also too casual. This gentleman with the heavy jacket or the bulky jacket on with no tie, that's not very professional looking. It looks like he just came from, the grocery store or coming from class. As you can see, this lady is wearing jeans to the far right. You want to avoid wearing jeans, even if they're white or black, whatever color they are, you don't want to wear jeans at all. You can also see that her jacket isn't tailored very well. It's over her t-shirt, which with the t-shirt sticking out, it looks kind of sloppy. So that gives you a general idea. I would say again, the lady to the far left under the acceptable dress slide, if she were to throw on a jacket or a cardigan and just have a little bit of a longer dress and maybe put on closed-toed shoes, she would look more professional. Nonverbal communication. So in addition to what you wear, which is a reflection of, in a way, how confident you are, therefore it's part of your nonverbal communication. There are also different positions and ways that you stand or facial expressions you may not be aware of. You may be nervous and you may not know that certain expressions that you give off can say things that you may not be intending to say. For example, the lady on the left, she's crossing her legs, and the way she's crossing her arms, she's in a closed position right there. So she doesn't look very approachable to begin with. But as you can see, just by the expression on her face and the way she's carrying herself, she could be seen as dishonest and lying. The gentleman with the headphones, well, first of all, you wouldn't want to walk around with jeans and headphones and sneakers. It's an unprofessional look. But he could be hiding something, and an employer might be suspicious of how he's looking. The gentleman in the middle, he's crossing his arms. He's not smiling, kind of frowning. He could be perceived in a lot of different ways, from insecure to hostile to aggressive, just closed-minded. Whenever you're crossing your arms, and we tend to do that when we're nervous sometimes, but it shows that you're not very open to communicating. The woman on the right, well, first of all, she shouldn't be wearing jeans, but she's got her hands on her hips, which could be interpreted as defensiveness. Now, the smile on her face and her eyes look energized indicate that she's interested. So she could be perceived a couple different ways. Ultimately, though, you'd want to refrain from wearing the jeans and just keep your hands at your sides, keep an open position, definitely be smiling. The man to the right, again, unprofessional dress, but he's got his hands in his pocket, so that could suggest that he's impatient and he's anxious to leave. Or, the way he kind of has his head turned to the side and his facial expression, he could maybe either think you're stupid or just be thinking about something unrelated to the fare. He could be distracted. Again, these expressions could be interpreted a number of different ways. But for the most part, they don't look like they're interested and engaged. And you want to make sure that you have a more open stance. This would be an example of a networking event where, as you can see, even though the lady to the left is sort of crossing her arms at her chest, she's kind of got, one hand open and she's smiling. And you can tell these people are engaged in conversation with each other and they're wanting to learn something or make a connection. So you want to make sure that you keep that open posture and don't leave any room for wondering or don't leave the employer with the idea that maybe you're not interested or you really don't want to be there. You definitely want to indicate that you're excited and you're enthusiastic about the opportunities and that you are really eager to learn more and engage with the employers. So etiquette and professionalism. When you're at the job fair, you don't want to check text messages or emails while you're engaging with the employer. If you have your cell phone set with notifications, you may want to turn them off before you go to the job fair, just so they don't distract you. Don't interrupt the employer during the conversation. So even if you're excited about something that the employer is saying, maybe they're talking about a topic where you worked on a project and you really enjoyed it and it was related to a skill set they were talking about. Refrain from interrupting them. Wait until the employer is done talking. Have 2 outfits with you for longer employer networking events. So it's always good to have a spare outfit just in case. It could be you may be sweating, you could spill something on your blouse. It's just good to have an alternative if it's going to be a long day and your jacket rips, or you just have some sort of unexpected thing happen where you need to change into another outfit, or maybe you're more comfortable for the second half of the event changing and wearing your backup professional dress. Always speak positively about the work experiences that you've had and the skills that you share. And the reason being is there could be people there at the job fair that maybe you've interned with or you've worked with before, or maybe they've taken classes at Nova. And, if you speak negatively about a professor or a work experience, they may know who you're talking about, and it doesn't send a positive message to the employer. So always be positive. When greeting the employer, use a handshake or a nod that indicates openness to communication and that you want to be engaged in connecting with them. Have your contact information ready. Either have your business card or have it on your resume. Make sure that the employer can get a hold of you once you leave that conversation. Make sure your social media is professional, and be sure about asking the recruiter if it's okay to connect on LinkedIn. You can either do this when you're networking with the employer or after the event if you send them a follow-up email. The rule of thumb is to ask first before you make that connection on LinkedIn. If you're not sure about your social media, such as your Facebook page, you may want to shut it down or set your privacy settings accordingly so that there's nothing on there that would make the employer suspicious. When in doubt, you can always email us at novacareerservices@nvcc.edu or visit your local campus career center and get some advice on that.